November 10th, welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. We're in the Art of War, Chapter 2, Verse 16. Now, in order to kill the enemy, our men must be roused to anger. That there may be advantage from defeating the enemy, they must have their rewards. Verse 17. Therefore, in chariot fighting, when 10 or more chariots have been taken, those should be rewarded who took the first. Our own flags should be substituted for those of the enemy, and the chariots mingled and used in conjunction with ours. The captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. 18. This is called using the conquered foe to augment one's own strength. 19. In war, then, let your great object be victory, not lengthy campaigns. We'll end with that. Using the conquered foe to augment one's strength. So I think, briefly, before we go to an alternate translation, that could easily translate into kind of what we were talking about last time, using those bad feelings, that hatred to fuel you. There's no conquering people and taking them as slaves anymore because of the society that we live in. But I mean, unless it's in business and we're talking about, a merger or acquisition, and that might be some kind of thing or whatever, but we're not going to worry about that. Just use the conquering of, there's another way to look at it, of like use the thoughts that you overcome, right? When you have those thoughts that start leading you down a path or wherever that you don't want to be. And then every time you conquer that thought, use that as a way to keep building yourself up, knowing that you can conquer it again. Master Sun says, so what kills the enemy is anger. What gets the enemy's goods is reward. And Zhang Yu says to this, if you stir up your officers and troops so that they are all enraged, then they will kill the enemy. If you reward your men with spoils, that will make them fight on their own initiative, so the enemy's goods can be taken. That is why it is said that where there are big rewards, there are valiant men. Du Yu says that if people know that they will be richly rewarded if they overcome the opponent, then they will gladly go into battle. Wang Chi says this just means establishing rich rewards. If you let the troops plunder at will, they may get out of hand. I do think in the original translation, he's like, he kind of gives the order of which, in the chariots, which we're about to get to, but like let it be in proportion and don't let it get too out of hand. And then of course, like in business, whether it's sales, and I think sales is the best, probably the best way to think about it because of the commissions and things like that. But there are incentives, like, if someone was like, I need $250,000 if I'm going to help grow your company from 10 million to 15 million, $250,000 isn't that big of an ask. And so just make sure that like you are rewarding the people who are doing those things for you, for the company, the nation, etc. Master Sun says, therefore, in a chariot battle, reward the first to capture at least 10 chariots. Mei Yao Chen says, if you reward everyone, there will not be enough to go around, so you offer a reward to one in order to encourage everyone. Master Sun says, change their colors, use them mixed in with your own. Treat the soldiers well, take care of them. Cao Cao says, you change their colors to make them the same as your own. You use them mixed in with your own so as not to leave them to their own devices. Jia Lin says, you change their colors so that they won't be recognizable to the enemy. Zhang Yu says, captured soldiers should be treated well to get them to work for you. Master Sun says, this is called overcoming the opponent and increasing your strength to boot. I think that's more of like modern colloquialism. Not sure if that's what Sun Tzu said, but it works. Du Mu reflects on this. By capturing the opponent's soldiers and using the enemy's supplies, you increase your own strength, of course. Mei Yao Chen says, when you capture soldiers, give them responsibilities according to their strengths. Take care of them kindly, and they will work for you. I mean, back then, it's either that or death, I guess. But if you do treat them kindly, they will work better for you. I found this out recently. If you're good to your employees, they'll tell people and they'll bring more employees to come and work with you. So just be a good leader. It doesn't have to be about conquering. It's blue ocean strategy. Ho Yongqi says, if you use the enemy to defeat the enemy, you will be strong wherever you go. Master Sun says, so the important thing in military operations is victory, not persistence. Cao Cao says, persistence is not profitable. An army is like fire. If you don't put it out, it will burn itself out. Meng Shi says, Meng Shi? I don't know if we've ever heard from this guy Meng Shi. What is best is a quick victory and a speedy return. I think my dog just escaped. Mei Yao Chen says, in all of the above mentioned, it is important to be quick. If you are quick, then you can economize on expenditures and allow the people rest. Okay. Very good. My train of thought got ruined because of the possibility that my dog has escaped. November 10th, always the same, from the Daily Stoic. She's here. We're good. Let's see what kind of correlations we can draw. Think by way of example on the times of Vespasian, and you'll see all the things: marrying, raising children, falling ill, dying, wars, holiday feasts, commerce, farming, flattering, pretending, suspecting, scheming, praying that others die, grumbling over one's lot, falling in love, amassing fortunes, lusting after office and power. Now that life is theirs, dead and gone, the times of Trajan, again the same. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 4.32. Ernest Hemingway opens his book, The Sun Also Rises, with a Bible verse. One generation passeth, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also riseth, and the sun goeth down, and resteth to the place where he arose. It was this passage, his editor would say, that contained all the wisdom of the ancient world. And what wisdom is that? One of the most striking things about history is just how long human beings have been doing what they do. Though certain attitudes and practices have come and gone, what's left are people, living, dying, loving, fighting, crying, and laughing. Breathless media reports or popular books often perpetuate the belief that we've reached the apex of humanity, or that this time things really are different. The irony is that people have believed that for centuries. Strong people resist this notion. They know that, with a few exceptions, things are the same as they've always been and always will be. You're just like the people who came before you, and you're but a brief stopover until the people just like you will go to come after. The earth abides forever, and we will come and go. And the dude also abides. That's not in this part, but what I jokes aside, I think that's good. I think that's a good reflection. You know, things aren't different. I mean, nothing's certain except death and taxes, right? But I think some things are certain in the sense of like life goes on, and no matter how much we surround ourselves with, no matter how many creature comforts we give ourselves, we're still the same. And at the end of the day, we all have to go out and hunt and gather, and we all have to go be productive and provide value to society in some way, in order for commerce, to continue. There's no one that's going to take care of you. I mean, there is in a way, but I mean, if you want to be truly independent and truly stoic, then you're going to go out and you're going to do it for yourself. And so that's why we want to keep standing tall and keep reflecting on the art of war. And so instead of lengthy campaigns, right, from the reading, let's go for the victory. Let's go for the victory of overcoming the obstacle that is presented to us every day.